That's not correct. Hello all. What I wanted to talk to you about today is Newspeak. I'm going to give you an example, a good example of Newspeak. The employment report for May came out here in the U.S. Of course, the corporate mouthpieces of our government reported really good news. The U.S. added a net 217,000 jobs in May, or 6.3% increase in job numbers. So, and that's all they talked about. They didn't really, they may have talked about the construction or the manufacturing, but we'll go into that later. Let's see what the Newspeak part is. So what are these jobs? Most of them are temporary, part-time, and low wage. So there are over 12.2% or 19 million people in May that had part-time jobs. That's an incredible increase since last year. The low wage, the large majority of these new jobs, of course, are in low wage, minimum wage. That's hotels, restaurants, fast food joints, that type of job. Full-time jobs are down 2.9 million people since 2008. Now, the things that they're touting as being great in the job market is construction is up 6,000 jobs, and that manufacturing is up over 10,000 jobs. But what they fail to tell you is that this time in spring and summer is when jobs, of course, are going up because of the college students getting out and getting jobs. Most of these are part-time jobs, as you know. All right, now here's another issue. Back in the 2008 crash, when the U.S. gave the bailouts to the car manufacturers, one of the agreements made was that the new workers that just started out at these companies would take a 50% decrease in wages. They don't tell you about that. Overall, wages are up 2.1% for May over last year in May. But again, they don't tell you, they just give you the Newspeak part of it, and they don't tell you all of the story, such as that the inflation rate is at 2%. So in reality, wages only went up 0.1% because of inflation. But as we know, that food inflation is at an almost all-time high now, and it is just going crazy. If you've been to the store and buy your own food, you know how high food prices are going. Now, if you're shopping at a co-op or a health food store, the prices are pretty flat because both those places get their food locally, and they don't have to pay for the increased cost of shipping and handling. So as you can see, our government really knows how to put on the Newspeak. It always has, hasn't it? The only thing we can do as citizens of our country, the U.S., and other countries that have the same problem, and I know a lot of you do, is that we need to get rid of these stale, old, crusty, corrupt politicians and these corrupt corporate parties that they belong to, and start looking into alternative parties, like the Green Party. Their platform is sustainable for this planet. So there we go. We have a sustainable party that's called the Green Party if you need to belong to a party. But don't rule out others as well. So let's just go over and see another piece of Newspeak. They say the economy is strong. Our physical house is in order, as they call it. But let's go look at reality. So that's just the interest on the actual loan that the U.S. has been making. Let's go look at the total debt that the U.S. has. I think you'll be amazed, since just the interest is 17 trillion. What would the national debt here in the U.S. be altogether? Let's look. Yes, that is 61 trillion plus. in a staggering amount. But what do you expect for Newspeak? Because there's nothing the U.S. government can do about this debt. It can't possibly pay it down. The people that run it asked for too much money, especially at the top. There's only one thing that can happen. Eventually, it's going to crash. So I thought we'd just talk about Newspeak today. And I appreciate all the comments. I just found them. They weren't showing up on my site, but they finally showed up. There were 7 of them. I was quite surprised. And thanks for all those comments and shares and ups and downs and everything else. And until next time,